Nah, man, I'm telling you, JD Vance doesn't give a F. He doesn't care. He's pointing at the protester directly to his face and laughing at why he's booing. And then what he says next is actually shocking to me, because this is like, look how he's smiling. He's just trolling all these protesters. This is a different side of him that we haven't seen. They're in Washington, D.C. As you guys know, there's been thousands of protesters from all over the country showing up to free DC. Most of them just so happen to be Caucasian. We're going to be talking about that as well. JD Vance and many Republicans have pointed out that it's the Caucasian liberals that don't want black people to be free in DC, really. So we're going to talk about that. But let's take a look at this clip, 20-second clip here of JD Vance directly pointing and laughing in the face of a protester that thinks he's cooking. Take a listen.
This is the guy who thinks people don't deserve law and order in their own community.
Mr. President, how did it go?
Hey guys, thank you.
So the guy is booing. He points over at P. Hegseth and then tells him, yeah, this is the guy that thinks that people in DC don't deserve for the crime to go away. You know, like people in DC don't deserve success. That's why he's booing that guy. And then P. Hegseth just laughs. Like, this is straight out of a Sopranos. Right? They're just both laughing at the protester and trolling him. But it gets even better because, again, P. Hegseth, Stephen Miller was there, JD Vance at the National Guard, and they legitimately are speaking of what is going on. And we got to talk about how residents of DC feel about this, of the National Guard being deployed to stop the crime happening. But the media has been trying to flip this, and JD Vance does not hold back. He went from laughing to being this guy, this serious guy. Take a look at the Smackdown to the press.
We really see evidence of this?
Of what? That DC has a terrible crime problem? You just got to look around. Obviously, DC has a terrible crime problem. The Department of Justice statistics back it up. The FBI statistics back it up. Just talk to a resident of this city, this beautiful, great American city. Don't they deserve... I mean, we talk about human rights. We hear these people outside screaming, free DC. Let's free DC from lawlessness. Let's free Washington, D.C. from one of the highest murder rates in the entire world. Let's free Washington, D.C. so that young families can walk around and feel safe and secure. That's what we're trying to free D.C. from. And as Stephen said, it's kind of bizarre that we have a bunch of old, primarily white people who are out there protesting the policies that keep people safe when they've never felt danger in their entire lives.
Oh my, and that comes right directly from the White House. I've never seen this side of JD Vance. He is cooking. He is calling out these primary white liberals, because that's pretty much that's out there. What's going on with the white liberals? We spoke about this. Liberal white boomers and liberal white people have legitimately sided with criminals at this point, right? Because of what exactly the response has been from DC residents. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. But there is more, ladies and gentlemen. He does not stop. He is clowning. So he went from being very serious to now JD Vance just clowned a reporter who brought up a fake poll trying to claim Trump's DC takeover is actually unpopular. Here's what he had to say about that. Take a listen.
Polls show that a majority of DC residents don't support the Guard here. So what's your message to the majority of DC residents?
I'm highly skeptical that a majority of DC residents don't want their city to have better public safety and more reasonable safety standards within Washington, D.C. I don't know what poll you're talking about. Maybe the same polls that said Kamala Harris would win the popular vote by 10 points.
Yo, JD Vance. Yo, what? Nah, this dude is a savage, bro. He's going buck wild. But again, we're going to talk about the DC residents and the polls and how they're reacting to it. And you'll see the big difference. You'll see why JD Vance is saying what he's saying. But first, we got to talk about something that Trump pointed out and something that we've been pointing out on this channel for a very long time, that there's always a new crisis. There's always a new crisis where these protesters by the thousands, they show up by the thousands, but why and how? And so I saw this, and we just got to talk about this, you know, because I think this is a huge topic that a lot of people are ignoring here. Holy crap, paid protester requests have surged by 400% since Trump was inaugurated as president. Reports show that dark money groups like those that the Soros family funds have dumped over $20 million into different protest groups in DC. And that's why we may be seeing all these protests, right? The Free Palestine protests, the ICE protests, the No Kings protests. I mean, there have been so many protests with the same amount of people show up. And are they being paid? Well, I want to take a look at this clip as we dive deep into these protesters. Here we go.
Protesters feel the same about federal law enforcement. But the fury may not be fully organic. Fox News has learned that paid protester requests have increased 400% since President Trump announced the federal takeover of DC's police department. The New York Post reports that high-dollar donors like George Soros have pumped more than $20 million into protest groups currently organizing demonstrations in the district.
Are you here? You're trying to arrest innocent people?
According to the White House, 45 arrests were made last night for reasons including assault, drug distribution, and illegal firearms. 29 illegal immigrants were also apprehended. The district's police chief, Pamela Smith, announcing today that local police will begin sharing information on undocumented individuals with immigration agents.
Washington, D.C. is at its worst point, and it will soon.
Yeah, so there you have it, right? That's the report. What's happening in D.C. as a whole. And it really just gets worse, right? Because Trump also he has been paying attention to this. He's been, reposting stuff like professional paid protesters. What do you do for work? They say they don't work. And then, then you start looking into George Soros. You start looking into these different dark money groups that may be funding these protesters. So Trump posted this. And this is one of the videos that shows that maybe this is not as organic as you may think it is. Now, yeah, I'm sure people care about a lot of these causes, but there's probably a different side to this and these protesters and how much money they're receiving and what is being orchestrated behind the scenes to basically cause America to become chaotic. I want you to take a look at this video that Trump posted from Nate Friedman that gives us a different glimpse of what it is that people are out there doing, and are they doing it organically or are they not? Take a listen.
Do you want to see Israel destroyed?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, your pin says you're Jewish, right?
At this point, I do. I used to believe in the one democratic state solution.
What do you do for work?
I don't.
You don't work? Why not?
I don't have to.
So you did well.
I haven't worked since I was 27.
Now, I think she actually is working, and as a professional protester. Here's her protesting without her sunglasses on. She usually does have them on. Here's her saying HP profits from Israel's torture of Palestinian political prisoners. Here's her saying democracy is not for sale. Back again with the Palestine flag, and again with the South African flag. Now, it's not just her, as we know that they work in teams. Look at this blonde woman beside her. I found her at more protests than any other paid protester I've exposed in the past. I found her at close to 50 different protests, all within a couple of years. So who's behind this team of people chanting for Israel's destruction on America's streets? Their name is Sami Dune. It's an organization based in Canada, and they are sanctioned by Canada as a terrorist group. In fact, in October of 2024, US and Canada issued joint statements listing Sami Dune as a terrorist entity. Canada called them a sham charity who funnels money into the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, which is a Marxist organization that recognizes a one-state solution with no Israel.
Again, whatever side of the spectrum you fall on, when it comes to that foreign policy or when it comes to Israel, when it comes to all of that, I feel that these organizations, especially as you read there from Nate Friedman, they're taking advantage of the young crowd that want, because I used to be wanted to be an activist. I wanted to be an activist. I wanted to care about these things. But what they're doing is they're taking advantage of it and pushing a different ideology on top of their ideology. But that's no here nor there. These protesters are showing up each and every day. They're working against President Trump, President Trump's administrations, or are they just working on behalf of the ideology of Marxism? That's a very, very extraordinary topic we'll be diving into on this channel eventually, because I'm starting to really notice it. We're starting to notice the same people showing up in different protests with the same ideology. But now let's go back to DC. Let's go back to one of the biggest points of the DC residents. How do they feel, right? Because we know that all these protesters are showing up. They have nothing to do with, of course, being the fact that they even live in DC. A lot of these people have probably never faced a hard life. They've never faced crime. They never had to grow up in it the way I did and many others. And so that's why I come on this channel and I talk about it the way I do. But they, again, that's why me and white liberals don't get along, or white progressives don't really get along. But this video right here, it's the most eye-opening thing in my opinion, because it goes into exactly what DC residents feel inside, deep inside. Take a listen.
Here in the heart of Washington, D.C., I'm hitting the streets to talk directly to the people who actually live here, the ones who deal with the city's crime and chaos every single day. Do you feel like President Trump's initiative to send in more police could be helpful for D.C. residents that don't live in safe areas?
Yes, I do. And I'm very appreciative of what Trump is doing. And I think everything that he's doing is helping D.C. as well as America.
At this point in my life, I think I'd rather move to another state.
How come?
Well, I've been shot 4 times, attacked so many times. I'm tired of it.
You were shot 4 times?
Shot 4 times in my life, yeah.
So it's four separate times?
Since I moved to D.C.
Since you moved to D.C., you were shot 4 times?
Yeah.
Residents expressed frustration with wealthy liberals, progressive protesters, and Democrat politicians that continue to say that Washington, D.C. is safe.
They don't have to deal with the crime in the other areas. They have better stores, better protection, police protection. This area right here, around here by Hecker Jamal, I wouldn't want my grandchildren to walk around here. They live in this area, not far.
So what's your message to President Trump if he sees this?
I love you and keep up the good work, and thank you for all of what you're doing. God bless you.
I just want the police to do what they can for our country, for our city of DC. So none of us young people don't have to live out the rest of our lives robbing and killing, or God knows what, or end up in jail, dead, or drunk, or becoming a drunk at the liquor store or loitering.
The youth in DC need more governing. They need more policing, more programs. Put programs back in place.
Y'all keep talking about the youth. Where they going at? They don't got no rec centers. They don't got no playgrounds. They don't got nothing. They don't even got boxing teams no more, or football.
I know, they got boxing is the answer. I used to be a boxer. I was a 2-time Golden Gloves champion. They don't have a boxing gym here. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm saying they got them, but it's not like it was when we was coming up.
Wait, when they had mentors.
Yeah, they don't have nothing out here for youth, period.
I did recently hear about the woman being thrown in the trash can down the street, like a few months ago, and that was very concerning, especially because her age, she was a little bit older.
I got God. I got Jesus. He's my protector.
Do you think women are safe, single women?
Yes, if they have Jesus, that's all they need. Jesus is the way.
Well, get a lot of people off the streets. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. There's a homeless problem. Yeah.
We have to be protected. Other countries are protected. Why we can't be protected? You know, and the cities.
Look, I'm not gonna play any more of this video because it's a different type of emotion that I feel, because I've been preaching this for a very long time. One of the main reasons I wanted to do politics, or I wanted to get into politics in this matter, is because of how much I care about this topic right here. Look, Trump's proposition and Trump's solution to bring in the National Guard, it's not going to solve the internal problem. As you heard there, I think starting with the rec centers, I think us investing in our society, inner cities, where we grew up at, investing and attacking that problem of making sure that young kids for the next generation are good, and they know that there's options in this country to do good and do better, and break cycles. That's a good thing. But I think what Trump is doing is also protecting people like her, people like him. We saw many people come out in this video and speak about the problems that they're facing and how important it is to bring back some more government and bring in the National Guard to the nation's capital, really. So it's so wild to see the big disconnect, right? All these white liberals and white progressives that are storming up and doing all these protests. Meanwhile, black people in these inner cities and people that actually live in these inner cities, they're the total opposite reaction. So what's really going on? That's my question down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to smash the like button. I'll see you guys on the next one.